Revelation 5. In the right hand of the one sitting on the throne I saw a scroll that had writing on the inside and on the outside, and it was sealed in 7 places. I saw a mighty angel ask with a loud voice,
"Who is worthy to open the scroll and break its seals?"
No one in heaven or on earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or see inside it. I cried hard because no one was found worthy to open the book or see inside it. Then one of the elders said to me,
"Stop crying and look. The one who is called both the Lion from the tribe of Judah and King David's great descendant has won the victory. He will open the book and its 7 seals."
Then I looked and saw a lamb standing in the center of the throne that was surrounded by the 4 living creatures and the elders. The lamb looked as if it had once been killed. It had 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, sent out to all the earth. The Lamb went over and took the scroll from the right hand of the one who sat on the throne. After he had taken it, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders kneeled down before him. Each of them had a harp and a gold bowl full of incense, which are the prayers of God's people. Then they sang a new song.
You are worthy to receive the scroll and open its seals, because you were killed, and with your own blood you bought for God people from every tribe, language, nation, and race. You let them become kings and serve God as priests, and they will rule on earth.
As I looked, I heard the voices of a lot of angels around the throne, and the voices of the living creatures and of the elders. There were millions and millions of them, and they were saying in a loud voice,
"The Lamb who was killed is worthy to receive power, riches, wisdom, strength, honor, glory, and praise."
Then I heard all beings in heaven and on the earth and under the earth and in the sea offer praise. Together, all of them were saying,
"Praise, honor, glory, and strength forever and ever to the one who sits on the throne and to the Lamb."
The 4 living creatures said,
Amen.
while the elders kneeled down and worshipped. Revelation 6. At the same time that I saw the Lamb open the first of the 7 seals, I heard one of the 4 living creatures shout with a voice like thunder. It said, Then I saw a white horse. Its rider carried a bow and was given a crown. He had already won some victories, and he went out to win more. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature say,
Come out.
Then another horse came out. It was fiery red, and its rider was given the power to take away all peace from the earth, so that people would slaughter one another. He was also given a big sword. When the Lamb opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature say,
Come out.
Then I saw a black horse. and its rider had a balance scale in one hand. I heard what sounded like a voice from somewhere among the four living creatures. It said,
A quart of wheat will cost you a whole day's wages. 3 quarts of barley will cost you a day's wages too. But don't ruin the olive oil or the wine.
When the Lamb opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living creature say, Then I saw a pale green horse. Its rider was named Death, and Death's kingdom followed behind. They were given power over 1/4 of the earth, and they could kill its people with swords, famines, diseases, and wild animals. When the Lamb opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of everyone who had been killed for speaking God's message and telling about their faith. They shouted,
Master, you are holy and faithful. How long will it be before you judge and punish the people of this earth who killed us?
Then each of those who had been killed was given a white robe and told to rest for a little while. They had to wait until the complete number of the Lord's other servants and followers would be killed. When I saw the Lamb open the 6th seal, I looked and saw a great earthquake. The sun turned as dark as sackcloth, and the moon became as red as blood. The stars in the sky fell to earth, just like figs shaken loose by a windstorm. Then the sky was rolled up like a scroll, and all mountains and islands were moved from their places. The kings of the earth, its famous people, and its military leaders hid in caves or behind rocks on the mountains. They hid there together with the rich and the powerful, and with all the slaves and free people. Then they shouted to the mountains and the rocks,
Fall on us! Hide us from the one who sits on the throne and from the anger of the Lamb! That terrible day has come! God and the Lamb will show their anger, and who can face it?
Revelation 7. After this, I saw 4 angels. Each one was standing on one of the earth's 4 corners. The angels held back the 4 winds, so that no wind would blow on the earth, or on the sea, or on any tree. These angels had also been given the power to harm the earth and the sea. Then I saw another angel come up from where the sun rises in the east, and he was ready to put the mark of the living God on people. He shouted to the 4 angels,
Don't harm the earth, or the sea, or any tree. Wait until I have marked the foreheads of the servants of our God.
Then I heard how many people had been marked on the forehead. There were 144,000, and they came from every tribe of Israel.
12,000 from the tribe of Judah, 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 from the tribe of Gad, 12,000 from the tribe of Asher, 12,000 from the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 from the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 from the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 from the tribe of Levi, 12,000 from the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 from the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 from the tribe of Joseph, and 12,000 from the tribe of Benjamin.
After this, I saw a large crowd with more people than could be counted. They were from every race, tribe, nation, and language, and they stood before the throne and before the Lamb. They wore white robes and held palm branches in their hands as they shouted,
Our God, who sits upon the throne, has the power to save his people, and so does the Lamb.
The angels who stood around the throne kneeled in front of it, with their faces to the ground. The elders and the 4 living creatures kneeled there with them. Then they all worshipped God and said,
Amen. Praise
praise, glory, wisdom, thanks, honor, power, and strength belong to our God forever and ever. Amen.
One of the elders asked me,
Do you know who these people are that are dressed in white robes? Do you know where they come from?
"Sir," I answered, "you must know." Then he told me,
These are the ones who have gone through the great suffering. They have washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb and have made them white. And so they stand before the throne of God and worship him in his temple day and night. The one who sits on the throne will spread his tent over them. They will never hunger or thirst again, and they won't be troubled by the sun or any scorching heat. The Lamb in the center of the throne will be their shepherd. He will lead them to streams of life-giving water, and God will wipe all tears from their eyes.
Revelation 8. When the Lamb opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. I noticed that the 7 angels who stood before God were each given a trumpet. Another angel, who had a gold container for incense, came and stood at the altar. This one was given a lot of incense to offer with the prayers of God's people on the gold altar in front of the throne. Then the smoke of the incense, together with the prayers of God's people, went up to God from the hand of the angel. After this, the angel filled the incense container with fire from the altar and threw it on the earth. Thunder roared, lightning flashed, and the earth shook. The 7 angels now got ready to blow their trumpets. When the first angel blew his trumpet, hail and fire mixed with blood were thrown down on the earth. A third of the earth, a third of the trees, and a third of all green plants were burned. When the second angel blew his trumpet, something like a great fiery mountain was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned to blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships was destroyed. When the third angel blew his trumpet, a great star fell from heaven. It was burning like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on a third of the springs of water. The name of the star was Bitter, and a third of the water turned bitter. Many people died because the water was so bitter. When the fourth angel blew his trumpet, a third of the sun, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars was struck. They each lost a third of their light. So during a third of the day, there was no light, and a third of the night was also without light. Then I looked and saw a lone eagle flying across the sky. It was shouting,
"Travel! Travel! Travel to everyone who lives on earth! The other 3 angels are now going to blow their trumpets!"
Revelation 9. When the fifth angel blew his trumpet, I saw a star fall from the sky to earth. It was given the key to the tunnel that leads down to the deep pit. As it opened the tunnel, smoke poured out like the smoke of a great furnace. The sun and the air turned dark because of the smoke. Locusts came out of the smoke and covered the earth. They were given the same power that scorpions have. The locusts were told not to harm the grass on the earth, or any plant or any tree. They were to punish only those people who did not have God's mark on their foreheads. The locusts were allowed to make them suffer for 5 months, but not to kill them. The suffering they caused was like the sting of a scorpion. In those days, people will want to die, but they will not be able to. They will hope for death, but it will escape from them. These locusts looked like horses ready for battle. On their heads they wore something like gold crowns, and they had human faces. Their hair was like a woman's long hair, and their teeth were like those of a lion. On their chests they wore armor made of iron. Their wings roared like an army of horse-drawn chariots rushing into battle. Their tails were like a scorpion's tail, with a stinger that had the power to hurt someone for 5 months. Their king was the angel in charge of the deep pit. In Hebrew, his name was Abaddon, and in Greek, it was Apollyon.
The first horrible thing has now happened. But wait, 2 more horrible things will happen soon.
Then the 6th angel blew his trumpet. I heard a voice speak from the 4 corners of the gold altar that stands in the presence of God. The voice spoke to this angel and said,
Release the 4 angels who are tied up beside the great Euphrates River.
The 4 angels had been prepared for this very hour and day and month and year. Now they were set free to kill 1/3 of all people. By listening, I could tell there were more than 200 million of these war horses. In my vision, their riders wore fiery red, dark blue, and yellow armor on their chests. The heads of the horses looked like lions, with fire and smoke and sulfur coming out of their mouths. 1/3 of all people were killed by the 3 terrible troubles caused by the fire, the smoke, and the sulfur. The horses had powerful mouths, and their tails were like poisonous snakes that bite and hurt. The people who lived through these terrible troubles did not turn away from the idols they had made, and they did not stop worshipping demons. They kept on worshipping idols that were made of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood. Not one of these idols could see, hear, or walk. No one stopped murdering or practicing witchcraft or being immoral or stealing. Revelation